Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 118-108 victory against the Atlanta Hawks. Ryker, we have secured the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. Let's get the balloons going. Let's get the celebrations going for this one tonight. Shout out the Orlando Magic for taking down the Cleveland Cavaliers to make it official. We are not going to be in that play-in tournament. We are going straight to the playoffs. And Ryker, to top things off, the Chicago Bulls also lost tonight, so we are sitting.
They haven't officially lost yet. They're still playing.
I'm booking it in. They're losing it by the time people are watching this after. They're going to lose this game, and we're going to be sitting soundly in that 5th seed in the East. How are we feeling about this game, Ryker? Because this is one of the better games of the season, it felt like, for the Raptors, morale-wise, even though we didn't have the greatest performances from a lot of our players.
Yeah, seriously. I just met one of the underwriters at my company, and he's probably similar age to us. He said he was going to watch this game live tonight, and what a game did he watch live, because Ben, 4th quarter, electric, huge lull, 5-6 minute drought. The Raptors just could not score, and then Fred VanVleet comes up clutch, Scotty Barnes comes up clutch. The intensity in the arena was crazy. This and the Miami Heat game, both playoff atmospheres. We're so close to it now, Ben. And to not be in the play-in to prove haters wrong, including myself, who called 7th or 8th seed at the beginning of this season. Before the season started, you said 4th or 5th. So, Ben, we're in a good place right now.
I did say 4th, so we got a little
I wanted
bit
to
of
give you
work
the
to do.
benefit there.
We got a little bit of work to do, but I said 4th, and then I think I said 4 through 1, but 4th is really where we're rocking out with. But what a game, as you mentioned, for this Toronto Raptors team, and lots of stories in this one, lots of suspense, just little narratives throughout this. So we got a lot to dive into, sink our teeth into with this game. But the first guy we got to talk about, making his All-NBA campaign, Pascal Siakam, continues against solid competition, against the upper echelon teams in the league. I know the Hawks are in the play-in tournament right now, but they've been on a hot streak. They're getting their guys back. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals. They got the likes of Okongwu, Clint Capella, all those guys in the front court, and Siakam played some bully ball. Balled out tonight, 31 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists for Pascal, 12 of 23 from the field, remarkably efficient. Marcel's in the chat saying, we the cheeks, we the Pascal spicy pea cheeks, whatever you want to rock out with. How are you feeling about Pascal Siakam in this game?
What was it? 31, 13, 6. Big numbers, surpassed Chris Bosh for most. They come up with very obscure stat lines. 7 times that he had 30 and 8, I believe. I might be lagging a little bit here for some reason. But Ben, either way, he eclipsed Chris Bosh. He eclipsed some other Raptors record. Things are going well in Pascal land. I think I'm definitely frozen. You take it back.
I think your audio is still coming through. Your audio is still coming through. But if people can't hear you, okay, you're frozen now. But Pascal Siakam was absolutely remarkable in this game. He came out, he was driving the lane. Those floaters, those semi-spins, those 3-foot shots are just, Ryker, they're unstoppable. Regardless if you're 7'5" Clint Capella with those long arms trying to swipe at him. If he goes in, stops on a dime, shoots that pull-up, and then, you commit to it, he just has this immaculate footwork to just step around or spin around, and he's getting to his spots, and, Pascal Siakam occasionally miss those shots, those, because they're not automatic layups, they're sort of 2-3 feet away from the rim, but they have been absolute money since December of this year, and it's kind of unstoppable. It's like that Kawhi midi down there, Ryker.
Yeah, 100%, Ben. The transition or the evolution from being trolled, that spin move, that spinny P meme, to now being a very unstoppable shot in his arsenal. Obviously, down the stretch when they did that switch, brought Hunter, probably their best wing defender, or their best big man defender at least, onto Pascal Siakam, and then started really collapsing the defense. Made it a lot harder for him to get his shot off. But if you're able to put in a 30-point performance, maintain a lead from first to third, and then have the rest of the guys step up in the fourth, I mean, that's as good as you can ask for Pascal Siakam, who stuffed the box sheet tonight. and then also is looking like an all NBA guy, man.
Looking absolutely elite, and something we talked about a lot at the beginning of the season. Then it just became sort of natural. We became used to it, Riker, and the box score never goes out. But 6 assists for Pascal, made some clutch dimes in this one to Chris Boucher, Precious Achiuwa, all of the guys, and that's something that we're really going to need out of our star guy, because Pascal, occasionally in the past, and this was a big issue with him sort of playing out there, is you go in and he kind of get his head down and then he forces something up. And when the doubles come and he can't really work out of the paint. But now coming into the playoffs, that passing ability is the best it's ever been in his career right now. So that's another sort of dimension to his offensive game that's going to prove crucial during the NBA playoffs if he continues this level of play. So shout out to Pascal Siakam being elite out there. But Riker, get a little drum roll going, sir. Get that little drum roll rocking, because tonight, the one, the only, the Scotty Barnes Award. It's going to none other than, who else could it be? Tonight, Scotty. The criteria is fluid, and tonight it's going to the guy that's going to win Rookie of the Year. It's probably could have been the criteria all season long. Kenny For Real came out and gave his award to Scotty Barnes out there on YouTube. So you know it's legit. It's not just us pushing the hype train. But 19 points, 14 rebounds, and assists tonight. Remarkable defense, clutch shots, only 13 shots. 7 of 13 from the field. Knocked down a 3 in this one, but Scotty Barnes just takes what he's been given and does it perfectly. That's the only real way to put it with Scotty Barnes at this point in his career.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're looking at rookie ladder, of course, Cade Cunningham might be the most skillful right now, but he's so far away from being a difference maker and a win or a loss for the Pistons, right? Obviously, the rest of the team isn't necessarily strong either, but he's so far out of where Mobley and Scotty Barnes are for the impact on their team, still in a position to win. Mobley goes down. Cleveland Cavaliers are a little bit shaky. Scotty Barnes, right? We're starting to let this game slip. It's tied. It's back and forth. He comes up with that huge offensive rebound, which is what I was saying needed to happen last game.
Yep.
Against the Miami Heat, that he needed to be under the basket. What does he do? Gobbles up a bunch of offensive rebounds. I think 14 rebounds total on the night. I don't know how many of those were. Six were offensive rebounds. He's a big body. He finishes. He has great touch under the basket. Ben, Rookie of the Year. Rookie
of the Year, without a doubt. And to run through a couple of other guys, our star boy, Gary Trent Jr., playing solid. 1 of 6 from the three-point line, which is tough. But I thought played a sound game otherwise. Knocked down some middies, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Probably with Fred VanVleet out, you could have had a little bit more going for Gary Trent Jr. there. But the guys off the bench, Thad Young, Chris Boucher, Precious Achiuwa, get the little propaganda going. But our triad of power forwards off the bench just come in and completely change the game for the Toronto Raptors. They up the energy. They get everything rocking. Boucher we'll talk about first, I guess. 18 points, 7 rebounds, getting some boards. What are you giggling at, sir?
I just got to pause to say, Ben, it's hilarious that our 3 bench players are all power forwards that don't handle the ball. Like, there are 3 guys coming off the bench. We have no shooting guards, no small forwards, no point guards off the bench. We played 3 power forwards off the bench, and they're impact guys. It's great.
It works. Hey, Precious is trying to make his way to a point guard, which we will talk about. But give some love to Chris Boucher, because he was great in this one.
Yeah. Oh, hey, all love to Chris Boucher. Those were hype threes. Maybe his most hype threes of the season, because the crowd, they were on the edge of their seats. He's taking fade away, leaning, corner threes, making them cash. I mean, it couldn't have been a bigger stage for this guy to ball out. And of course, the free throws were atrocious. But if he's going in, there's one thing that's going to be consistent. It's not his actual performance, it's his confidence,
yep.
Man. And that's all we need.
Confidence is all you need from Chris Boucher balling out. But I think the guy that was the most intriguing in this game was Precious Achiuwa. He came out with a mission tonight. Weird box score. I don't know if I read out Boucher's box score. 18-7 for Chris Boucher, 7-11 from the field. Boucher balled out. Precious had 11 points, 2 rebounds, 4 of 11 from the field. 0 of 4 from the three-point line. A couple of bad air balls, but we'll talk about one of them in the segments. But he came out with a mission. The first quarter, this guy was running like prime Melo, ready to just drive, force his way through whoever. I don't know if someone talks some smack on the Atlanta Hawks, or he was just mad that he had a poor game against his former team, but he made some plays at the start of this one. Again, those 3-foot, 5-foot shots that just look horrific. He made a couple of those. He had one where he had 4 guys on him, and then, in precious fashion, dribbles it out, tries to dribble through traffic, then realizes, oh, there's only 2 guys on me at this point, and runs straight back in and gets an and one. Had some monster dunks. What do you see out of Precious Achiuwa tonight? I love the mentality. That's another guy with unlimited confidence.
Yeah, well, we're going to get the motor running of all of our players at the best time, the best possible time. And if we're able to lock in that 5th seed, we're probably playing Milwaukee or Philly. And now our next game is against Philly, so that'll be a fun test. We'll see if they play Embiid. We'll see if they play Harden. I suspect one or both of them will get rested, but I'd much rather be locked in at that 5th, play one of those 2 opponents, because that's where that good matchup is for Precious, for Boucher, right? When they're not as, you don't have as many small forwards guarding that 4 spot. You have more traditional power forwards that are going to guard those guys where they can really display their talents, which is very unorthodox style basketball, which is really hard at times to talk about, but it's really fun to watch. If it's going, if it's not, it's a mess.
It's a mess. But and another guy that has an unorthodox game about him is Thaddeus Young off the bench. 7 points, 8 rebounds in this. Lots of hustle from Thad. I just love what I see from this guy. I don't know.
I love him.
I don't know, because he has a couple of bad, just horribly missed layups occasionally, but other than that, he's just so sound. He's so relaxed. He is. You'd think this guy is 19, hustling for a late round roster spot, the way he plays, because he is going after every loose ball, every ball that's in the air for more than 2 seconds. Thad's at least getting a hand on it, and he goes down, makes the right passes. And you said, no ball handlers off the bench, but obviously Precious is going to handle the rock however he is. But I look at Thaddeus Young as almost a point forward on our squad. It's he's not perfect by any means, but I love this pickup for the Toronto Raptors. I'm so happy we traded for him.
Yeah, perfect would probably be a shooting guard, get a little bit more shooting depth off the bench, but I would say Thaddeus Young is a close second in terms of his ability to come in, really settle down Boucher, settle down Achiuwa. Him playing with the starters is a plus. And even though his form is so tragically broken, he's still a bit of a threat from outside the perimeter. So he's not a bad player by any means. You can play him at any time in the 4th quarter if you want, which is always the fear of bringing in a big is, are they going to be kind of a negative asset when you have to play that small ball lineup? Not the case with him or any of our power forwards off the bench. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun.
Honestly, and I think I said in the previous podcast, but I wouldn't mind Thaddeus Young starting, right? I love the just unpredictability of Boucher and Precious off the bench, but in these games, obviously without OG Anunoby, Thaddeus Young, I'd like to see him get some more run with the starters, with the veterans, to see what happens, because I feel like that's what playoff basketball ends up reverting to, so I wouldn't mind seeing some reps with Thaddeus Young and more of those starting unit players as we inch closer and closer to the postseason. But Ryker, also I do want to shout out Khem Birch. -11 for this game, interestingly enough. I thought this was one of his better games since coming back from injury. 5 points, 8 rebounds, a couple of ferocious blocks on Trae Young. But again, the triad of power forwards off the bench have sort of eclipsed Khem Birch at this point, at least in the eye test and everything. But we'll see. Obviously, veterans usually end up performing better in the playoffs. We'll see what happens. But Riker, it's time to swing into the segments. And tonight, the spicy P-lay of the day. My goodness, we have a lot of candidates in this one. We brought up Precious Achiuwa, throwing down a couple of just thunderous jams against this Atlanta Hawks team. As said, he came in motivated, ready to rock, but there was a sort of narrative with Fred VanVleet running through. Do you want to describe the Fred VanVleet shot to end this one down?
Oh, what was he? 1 for 10, 1 for 11. 1 for 11 and lots of bricks. Ice cold. If you were playing 2K, the Ice Cube animation, I don't know if they still have that. It's been a long time since I played 2K, but used to be. It's very difficult to make a shot when you've missed that many in game. But just like last game, he will not stop shooting. And I think Jack Armstrong said it best: rather peak late than peak early. And he shoots clutch shot, really silences, I guess, the Atlanta Hawks bench, and particularly Trey Young, who was up to his usual
Silence
boasting.
the bench, sir.
Silence the Atlanta bench. It was pretty noisy in the arena other than that, Ben. Did I capture it well, or do you want to add some excitement to that recap?
No, that's a quality recap. Fred VanVleet hoisting up. In and out. Great shots, great looks. The heart and soul of the fan base just constantly up and then ripped apart. And then finally to end the game, gives us that satisfaction of one of those buckets rattling in to ice the game, as you said, against old Trey Young. So definitely that's got to be the spicy play of the day. Shout out Fred VanVleet. The confidence, you love to see it. You don't mind him missing all those shots if you're going to make the one that matters, right? That's just how it goes. That's it. Not all plays can be the spicy play of the day, and some just make you say, "Oh, geez." And tonight, the "Oh, geez" play of the day. There's a few it could go to in this one. Do you have any OGs in mind off the top?
I got one off the cuff. Mr. Bogdanovich. I just pronounced that wrong, didn't I? Bogdanovich.
Oh, you got it.
Thank you. Double teamed. Corner. Instead of passing, takes, I don't know what you call it, a weird pull-up, kind of leaner, hit the backboard, a real clunker, out of bounds. Worst kinds of shots, especially when your team is kind of in it, and you have guys like Trey Young and Huerter, who were shooting well, or at least Huerter was shooting well all night, Herter, however you pronounce his name. Ben, awkward play. That's my OGs. Do you have something Raptors related?
Yeah, there's a few shots hit by the Atlanta Hawks. That little run that they went on was pretty brutal, but I like Scotty Barnes at the end of this one. Sealing the deal. Usually you run out the clock at the end of the game. Scotty says, "I'm going up with the left. I'm getting my buckets." And there's a couple moments like this down the stretch of the game. Scotty Barnes, usually you run out the clock. I guess it was close, so you don't want them to foul or free throws, take the easy twos. That one wasn't too bad. But usually at the end of a game when a team is fouling, right, you want the ball in the hands of your best free throw shooters, right? Precious Achiuwa, not one of our best free throw shooters, but he got the ball. Fred VanVleet was there. I think Gary was there. A couple of guys, directly in his eyesight, were right in front of him. And Precious, no one was around him at that point yet. Kind of pass fake to them. And then said, "You know what? I'm getting these points. I'm boosting my stats in this game right here." So that made me say, "Oh, geez." Shout out Precious. The one.
Ben, this is the thing. We shot almost exactly 66% from free throw range is what I was going to say. The free throw attempts were dreadful tonight,
from free throw range.
So every 2 out of 3 was a make. So you're thinking to yourself, would I make this layup more than every 2 out of 3 times? The answer is yes when you're Scotty Barnes in the paint. Yeah. So you go for that, Ben. You don't risk those free throws.
That's fair. But, I love rubbing it in. I love rubbing it in. It makes me feel good. But, Ryker, the one, the only, it's becoming infamous. The Paul Pierce Golden Kazoo Award of the evening. Do you have one in mind?
No.
I have a little one I want to throw out there, and it's going to the basketball gods. Because Malachi Flynn came out, got 7 minutes in the fourth quarter, or in the second half of this game. Delano and him split their runs. We're trying to find someone to play those backup shooting guard minutes, and Armani Brooks seems to have fallen out of the rotation, even though I think you and I were impressed with his performances. But obviously, Malachi Flynn was balling out before he went down with injury. Had a tune-up game there with the 905. Looked, or at least the stats. We didn't watch it, but the stats didn't look good in that one. I don't even... Poor efficiency, all that. And then came out in this game. Didn't look too sharp. I thought he played some solid defense. He was hustling, but ran into some defenders at some point. Had one turnover and one that was close to being a turnover at 7 points. Zero shot attempts. It seemed like he only got a couple of touches, and then each touch, it was just a little bit of chaos. I'm thrown into the basketball gods for just messing with my guy Malachi. What are we gonna do with Malachi? We gotta give him some run to end off the season, especially if we've locked in a playoff spot, because I think he could be a valuable piece off the bench during the playoffs.
Perhaps. I'm just looking at, they got Lou Williams, they got DeLon Wright, Trae Young, a lot of guards on this Atlanta Hawks team. So, of course, when we only have a handful of guards that actually are in our rotation, that's a big burden for Fred VanVleet to be running around, especially when guys like Trae Young have the ball in their hands all game long. So it's a lot of activity for Fred VanVleet. I'm not surprised Malachi came into this game, but I just don't see him in the playoff rotation. I don't see even Ken Birch in the playoff rotation, except as kind of that substitute when there's some foul trouble, Ben, but not something we need to necessarily dwell on. We got some interesting things to chat about in the final alarm, so let's sound it off.
We have a lot of fun things to chat about. Let's get into it. Woo 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 woo.
Wee wee wee.
The final alarm has sounded, folks. You guys know what that means. We gotta get a little like spike going in honor of that final alarm. We want to hear what you guys have to say in the chat. See what you're thinking. Obviously, fun times in Raptors land, but Ryker, we finally, obviously, you and I were hyping up for felt like a month and a half, trying to give away a fire hoodie, and our guy Alex finally came through with the he won the award. He won the hoodie. I don't have the graphics still up, but he finally sent in the video. Shout out our guy Al. Let's play this video.
Hey, what's up, guys? Just making this video to thank Raptors Digest, Ben and Ryker, for hooking me up with this dope-ass sweater. Here it is, as you can see it. I don't really have great camera equipment, so I'm just filming it on my phone. Got it to a true fan. See, I got the Scotty Barnes jersey, signed OG, and got a new one for the collection. Thank you very much. Shout out Ben, shout out Ryker, shout out Joshy Ice, shout out Jenny Driscoll, and thank you very much.
Really took a weird turn at the end.
The Trojan horse. Shout out our guy rocking out the hoodie. Quality stuff. Gave the shout outs to myself, you, Joshy Ice. Happy birthday to Joshy Ice too. We can get the balloons going for Joshy on his birthday. Definitely send him a message. Saw a bunch of super chats going to Joshy Ice. Deserves it. Killing it on those live streams. And also shout out to Jenny Driscoll.
Oh, memes. Legends never die, Ben. And I like the editing, the poor camera quality, and then the hyper cuts of just random anarchy. I mean, that's one way to send us in a video. We were waiting. We were saying, how long does it take to just record yourself wearing a sweater saying thank you for the sweater? Well worth the wait. He over-delivered on this one. Thank you, Alex. Not Josh, obviously. There was a little bit of confusion. Who really got the sweater, so it's been put to bed. We look forward to the next giveaway. Interesting one, Ben.
No. Shout out Alex for sending this video. Lots of stuff. You got a milky birthday wish for Joshy Ice in the chat. So love to see that. Love to see those milky birthday wishes. But yeah, let's see what people are saying. Scooby Doo saying Kem did good today. You said Kem's not going to be in the playoff rotation, Ryker.
No, not as a starter. Of course not.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like we have too many bigs when OG Anunoby's back to rock out with. There, Zane saying Riker's worst mistake was mentioning his crush on Jenny 2 years ago on a live pod.
My crush is a 15-year-old, and the funny thing is, it wasn't a crush.
You were like 12. You were 12.
True. Yeah, as a 12-year-old. And the funny thing, it wasn't a crush. Like, she wasn't the girl that I had my eyes on. She was just happened to be a girl that talked to me while we were on a travel trip with the boys team and the girls team. And I got so panicked that a girl gave me attention that I shouted at her. And yeah, that's basically it. We've just ran with it. It's been a good time.
You got to run with that stuff. Saying it's a worst mistake. I think it was the best thing on the go. Stephen Wong saying, I'm not sure if Ben and Ryker even know what a VHS tapes are. I feel so old. Well, Ryker, you and I felt old before this podcast. You got a little story to throw out there.
That's true. I've been on a college high. I'm watching NCAA women's basketball championship game. I didn't catch the men's game. Watch the women's game, though. So I guess, obviously, your phone listens to everything that you do. So now I'm getting a lot of Instagram stuff on the McDonald's All-Americans and college-related stuff, high school stuff. They were doing a challenge. Respond to the lyrics. Easy, medium, hard. Easy, 50 Cent, into club. Everybody should know that. Medium, Forever, Drake. Half of them didn't know that. That was a little bit awkward. Hard. Can't Tell Me Nothing, Kanye West. Nah, 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 wait till I get my money. Right. None of them knew it except for Amari Bailey. How old are we that Kanye West, classic Yeezy, is not even known by the youth of tomorrow? Blows my mind.
I'm 22. How am I like an old head knowing Kanye?
You're a boomer.
You're a boomer, guys.
You're a boomer.
Have you ever seen my, like, this is my, like, grade 6 dunk tape. I did it to the background of Can't Tell Me Nothing. I got the 7.5 foot rim in my backyard throwing down some yams.
Can we post this on one of our videos?
Yes. There's some nasty dunks in that from grade 7 Ben. That might top my actual mixtape on YouTube. So
pre-ACL injury Ben.
Pre-ACL, just puberty Ben.
When he
really,
was all hops. No height, but all hops.
That's what you want to see. But the chat is popping off right now. Scarlett's calling you simp, Ryker, for yelling at a chick.
Yes.
I think
that's actually the opposite of a simp
power
move,
play,
isn't it?
you know?
Yeah.
They're playing 4D chess with that there. But Ken plays better in the playoffs. Game slows down more half court. Predator Kingdom. I see what you're saying, but can't shoot the 3, sag off. Modern day playoffs. That might be tough. Kem isn't the most mobile of guys. MDog123 Gaming is saying, hot take, Nets ain't make it out of the play-in. That's not a hot take, sir. That's something you, myself, and probably Ryker all agree. Do you agree?
I don't agree. I went at you to say super stardom usually wins games in the playoffs, but I'd love to see them miss the playoffs because that would be great.
Okay. I like it. Someone saying, Scooby-Doo says post if you get 80 likes. If we get to, what's a nice like rate?
1,000 likes.
1,000 likes. We were going to start the OnlyFans if we got 1,000 likes on
God.
On a live stream. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Apparently Ben Simmons is also out for this for the play-in and stuff, so probably won't see Ben Simmons all year. Love to see that. Kawhi is back for the Clippers gym today. Man, how brutal would it be for like the Grizzlies or something? Obviously making the 2 seed. Come out and they got to face Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and Norman Powell potentially for for their first round matchup. That I'd feel horrible for the old Grizzlies.
Yeah. Not going to happen. If he's come back to the gym, I mean, just don't see the cardio or anything being there to be able to return for the playoffs, but see what happens.
Skip Bayless said like a month ago that he's back to playing 5-on-5. I don't know what insider Skip Bayless got on Kawhi Leonard. He talks about stories of him talking to, what was that guy's name? The uncle.
Oh, I don't know, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, the Kawhi's manager that pulled him out of a championship situation. Whatever his name, whatever the uncle is. Uncle Dennis or something.
Oh, I think that's it.
Yeah, Uncle Dennis. What a loser. What a loser.
Yeah, I mean, could have ran it back. Instead, you go and you get a couple of injuries. You're nowhere near the championship in LA, you know. What could have been?
What could have been? He's truly a Toronto Raptor. That's his legacy.
What's this news on Rudy Gobert?
Rudy Gobert, sir. Apparently the Raptors are interested. They're targeting Rudy Gobert this offseason. If he obviously the Jazz sort of flame out in the playoffs once again, which a lot of people are expecting, given they're currently matched up with the Mavericks or the Warriors or one of those teams. So could be a cool pickup. Trade no G for him though. Would you do that?
Well, here's the thing. It would be probably a positive to the team because this guy's multi-time defensive player of the year. So obviously you're shoring up that kind of interior defense that we've somewhat been missing. It's been tightened recently that all of our guys are coming back. They're healthy. They're working together. The chemistry is good, but it would be a huge L from a culture perspective. And not just that Rudy Gobert is practically needing to be dealt because of his issues with integrating with the team in Utah, but because OG is literally the culture definer in Toronto, right? It goes DeMar and Lowry, they set the precedent for winning, but OG is culture on this team. He's Scarves. He's, he's Serge Ibaka. He is Scotty Barnes. He's Gary Trent Jr., right?
Yeah.
OG is kind of influencing all of these guys to be cool and everything. So it'd be a big L for culture.
Yeah. No, I agree. It would hurt my soul, even though, and he's younger too. He fits the timeline a bit better. Like, logically, short term, you probably have to say Gobert, but then you consider the contract and all that stuff. I'm rocking out with OG, but I don't want to be too delusional, right? But I'm an OG guy. I'm an OG stan. But we do have a super chat coming in from Rahul saying, I would like to help you guys out with Jay's Digest. Shout out
Good
Rahul.
man.
Shout out Rahul. Shoot us a message on shoot me a message on IG. Ben Rogers 1 Raptors Digest. I cleaned up all the IG requests. I responded to a bunch of people from like messages like 3 years ago that we just missed that were in our deep requests folder. I'm in isolation for COVID, so I'm out tomorrow, so that's exciting. But spent my time doing that stuff because we missed so much stuff because that's just a complete mess in there. So yeah, shoot us a message. Email us at raptorsdigest@gmail.com if you don't have that. And I guess that goes for everyone in the chat. You want to help join the squad? We are growing different channels left, right, and center. Want to help out with the IG posts, Twitters, whatever you're feeling. Slide into the old DMs of your boys. So that's what we love to see. Chat's been popping up. Appreciate the super chat as well. Jazz our first round exit. That's true. Scooby-Doo is saying, can you give me lots of money and I'll donate it to you? No, because YouTube takes like 6%. What do they take? Like 30% of super chats. So we'd be losing like hundreds of millions of dollars on that transaction. And it's something we clearly have.
Yes. $600 million.
And Rahul's coming back with another super chat. We're doing a recruiting session in the chat right now. Like, cool. I sent you a message on Instagram an hour ago. Well, I should definitely check my Instagram then, because I don't have noties on there. So I will respond to that promptly following the podcast upload and fun stuff. But Riker, chat's kind of going wild. Frozen saying Toronto FC Digest. What was CEBL Digest? What digest would you like to sort of start off, spin off, if you could have one? The wildest one. Even you can.
Ben, talk to me after the playoffs, big dog. We're jumping around to other things here during the Raptors playoffs, and we clinched. We got too much to focus on here right now. We don't need to be spinning off the MLS Digest.
MLS Digest, bro. Chess Digest. That's what I'm saying.
Chess. Okay, actually, I take it back. I would love to see a Chess Digest next.
Yo, chess YouTube channels underrated. Following just historic games of chess, man. There's this Russian dude that I watch, puts out some quality stuff. So that's might have to take on from that. Gobert is a baby. We don't need that bum. That's what Teflon's saying. Would you rather Donovan Mitchell or Rudy Gobert?
Rudy Gobert for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Elaborate.
I'm always skeptical on offensive players that could have a down season, right? An injury could get them, whatever. But Rudy Gobert, his game is just to exist, right? He's had success. He's earned his Supermax contract just from being a 12-12 guy. And having that presence in the paint, blocking 1 or 2 shots per game, that's enough to earn him Defensive Player of the Year multiple times in the NBA. So you put him around a team that's already defensive oriented, that already has talented scorers and Pascal Siakam, Gary Trent Jr., and Scotty Barnes, the likes. And then you put a big, lumbering, huge, gigantic 7'2" guy in the mix. I mean, that's a recipe for a championship. Obviously, you could make a similar argument for Donovan Mitchell that having more offensive firepower could be a good thing, but I don't see it as sure as having an excellent center.
I see what you're saying. I don't know. I feel like
would you prefer Jason Tatum or Joel Embiid?
Tatum.
I'd again go for the big, because to me, having a big is just more unstoppable than having a small forward. And you can also think about it from a defensive perspective. It's like how many people could defend the small forward position versus how many could realistically defend the center position.
I see what you're saying. I get it, but you're given a max contract to someone, right? You're given that max contract. That's huge bread. And we've seen this season. You can defend the rim. I guess playoff time, we'll see how this experiment plays out. But you can patch together things at the center spot, right? It's valuable to have a big center, right? They're not as rare as they used to be. Like the top 5 guys in the MVP race, it feels like, are all centers at this point. But having a guy that can just consistently get those midi pull-ups, get a shot when you need it, those shot creators that are also solid on defense, with Donovan Mitchell regressed a little bit on defense this season. It's a bit smaller and stuff. I know we positionally have Gary Trent Jr. and stuff, but if you are giving out that max money, you should probably go to a guy that can get you that bucket, right? Because that's the most valuable thing, especially during the most important moments. I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. That's if you only have enough money to pay one guy, right? But if you still have enough money, you're willing to go into the luxury tax. You have a guy like Siakam, Gary Trent Jr., Fred VanVleet, and you can somehow payroll defensive guy. I think I'd rather bring in that defense than another scorer. And it's like, you look at Phoenix, you look at Los Angeles when they're good, you look at who else? Denver, Utah, right? All of these teams, Philadelphia, right? Their success is around having a good center. Now, there's as many cases to say Golden State, Dallas, even Memphis, too. They have Steven Adams, but they're good without a proper center. So I don't know. You could argue back and forth for today's Ben, but we're running long in this pod. Do you have anything else to say before we wrap this one up?
As long as you have Scotty Barnes, you're going to win. That's just how it goes. I saw one that I wanted to. There's a start bench cut, Freddie, Scotty, Trent. Quick.
Start, Scotty.
Wow.
Bench because he can handle the ball.
Wow.
Bench Fred because we could use some more scoring off the bench. And he's played in that role before. And cut Gary because he's our least consistently clutch guy. Even though he's most clutch by definition, we'd go to him the least in clutch time.
Hot Gary, you're starting over all of those guys. Like cooking Gary, you're starting over most of the players in the league. But I probably agree with Fred VanVleet, just probably the season. I know it's following a horrible game from him, but he's been an all-star this season, just bucket getter. Probably still give the benefit of the doubt to Fred VanVleet, but a couple years, Scotty Barnes definitely going to be that starter in that list. Wi-Fi hotspot saying, what Raptors trade rumor has ever been true? That's one of the ones I wanted to address. Riker.
What?
He asked what Raptors trade rumor has ever been true.
Gasol.
Well, that's one we got right. We hit a year early, and then we hit it again the year around. The one trade rumor, because we react to pretty well every trade rumor. That's like not... That's somewhat reported by a credible reporter and insider. We try to react to it and then obviously give it live updates and stuff. The one trade rumor that you and I sort of said, no chance.
Why? Was
Mr.
Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard. We said, no chance in heck. We said it's more likely to get LaMarcus Aldridge than Kawhi Leonard. That's what we thought. We made a video when Kawhi demanded a trade saying, yo, the Spurs might blow it up. Let's get LaMarcus Aldridge. That was our take on the Kawhi Leonard deal. So that rumor was true. There's been a few. The Marc Gasol one was legit. The Serge Ibaka one was definitely legit as well. That was before we did the podcast, but I did that on Twitter. I got called out by Blake Murphy, said I was spreading fake news. I heard it from Brian Windhorst on a podcast, and then he ended up deleting his tweets and apologizing me in the DMs on the old back when I used the Raptors Digest Twitter as a kiddo. But there's lots of rumors. I wanted to sound off on that. Definitely check out the video if you haven't already. The Paul George rumor. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. Bunch of stuff. But folks, you guys are the best to make it this far. Check out the Instagram, the Twitter, the TikTok, all that cool stuff. Posted like 3 TikToks past day or so. Give that a little follow. Give that a little check out. Also check out Courtside Digest. Marcel, he's getting some takes, getting the fire cooking. Did my little MVP predictor over there yesterday, so definitely check out those vids. Check out the channel memberships, all that cool stuff. Riker, do you have any last words on the Raptors' massive W versus the Atlanta Hawks?
I I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven. When I woke,
Oh, you're playing.
Come on, Ben.
I had a
Don't leave me
dream I
hanging.
could buy my way to heaven. When I woke up, oh my god. Maybe
Oh, no.
Maybe I am too young, Riker. Maybe I am too young.
I spent it on a necklace,
I spent it on a
Ben.
necklace.
Come on. Oh, I'm too old.
I'm giving myself the golden kazoo. Throw me an Anderson Paak line and I'll jam into it. Sad.